It has been a roller coaster ride on this skateboard. Some of you may feel me. One session you'll have an amazing session on the deck, but the next it's like you've never skated before in your life. I experienced this maybe more often than I should have or what I personally would have liked on this deck, but towards the end of the deck I actually got a little bit better. But today we're doing my review and wear test of the Anti-Hero Grimple Stix 8.4 that I've been riding for 5 to 6 weeks now. Welcome back to the channel, guys. I hope you're going well. Bear with me here, dog, squeaky toy. But today I'm going over my review and wear test, like I mentioned, of the Anti-Hero Grimple Stix that I've been riding or skating, skateboarding. Yeah, you know what I mean. Really wanted that Grimple Stix model, really cool graphics, the little dude. I find it like fun and amusing as well. But I normally stay away from Antihero Skateboards just because they normally have that bigger, wider wheelbase. They're generally 14.3 up and upwards. For me, that's just too wide. It's generally aimed a bit more towards like transition skaters, where I like something like 14.25 and under. It just like works for me personally. The tail hits early for me, and it's just, yeah, the tail hits early for me, so I don't have to put as much effort into it. And it's just like, they're generally tailored towards street. Not that I'm saying that you can't ride street on a wider wheelbase. Everyone's different. My preference is a shorter wheelbase. But I actually found this Anti-Hero Grimple Stix with a wheelbase of 14.25, and so I was really super stoked to start skating this deck. Along with the wheelbase being 14.25, the length of the deck is 32 inches and the width being 8.4. It is a bit wider than I usually skate, but maybe it affected my flick a little bit here and there, but that extra little bit more width really made me personally feel a lot more comfortable on transition. The deck itself is like a medium concave straight across the deck, with the kicks being a true medium as well, I reckon. That's gonna probably not pick up, but that is a true medium. The kicks are like about that 6.7 to 6.8, a nice little happy medium ground in my opinion. So I started this deck off on Thunders. Thunders are generally what I want to keep riding or starting decks off. I guess that's the truck that I'm going to gauge everything off. But I was like missing my pop a little bit. The consistency wasn't there, so I thought, why not chuck my indies on it, bring in the wheelbase a little bit, hopefully get a bit more sooner pop. But in doing that, I found my consistency was actually worse. So I went back to Thunders. I ended up riding Thunders for the whole duration of the deck. I didn't think about going to Ventures. To be honest, I was just lazy, so I just dealt with it. Try to deal with the timing and stuff. And like I mentioned, as time went on, I actually did get used to it a little bit more. My consistency did come up, but in saying that, some things are really good on the deck, some things you just have to adjust. And that's probably for me personally, mainly being the width and getting too much grip on my flip tricks. So the deck shape is really nice. I'll get some B-roll of that. But yeah, a bit more fuller of a nose, a fuller of a tail. It's not your standard popsicle deck, I wouldn't say. Like I said, it's got a bit more fuller of a nose, bit more fuller nose, a fuller tail. Personally, it's really nice in my opinion. It's almost like that perfect middle ground between like what you get normally, a normal popsicle, and maybe like a bigger rounded deck like a Weekend, GX 1000, Quasi there, with those bigger shovel noses. This is like a happy medium ground in between. And yeah, with those medium kicks, sometimes like for me personally, I just have to remember to give that a little bit more oomph because I'm a bit more lazy a skater. I have to go back to gym. Like there's no doubt about it. My pop is like sacrificing at the moment. I haven't been in the gym for a while, but I just have to remember to like really snap hard. When I do remember that, I do get nice pop, especially like getting onto things. But for me personally, it is like that medium kick. It does work well. The sogginess, there is no sogginess there. It's the pop stays the same throughout the duration of the deck. And like I have actually got a little bit of flex towards the end of the deck, but that's probably good in the end because like a little bit of flex never hurt anyone. It'll help prevent snapping your deck because if it's like a full solid board, it'll snap. BBS, this wood is BBS, so it is that little bit stiffer, starts off quite stiff. Like I said, for me personally, the pop didn't change throughout the whole life of this deck. Talking about the durability as well, the durability of this deck is like next to none. I've slammed this around, I tried focusing it, like there's no chips, there is no cracks, there is actually no pressure cracks underneath the trucks as well. That's like very surprising. for like a lot of decks for me personally, because for me, I stomp a lot of tricks. I go boom, like the power. Jason Lee, if you've watched the 9 Club thing, the Jason Lee power, but I just stomp my tricks, and I generally get pressure cracks in a lot of my decks. This, no pressure cracks, no cracks throughout the deck, just a little bit of flex, but like for durability wise, you cannot argue with this deck. You can't argue with it. It's like one of the most durable decks and solid decks that I've skated. Transition wise, this has been really nice. Personally, I've been trying to move into doing more transition, get a little bit more comfortable. This has been a deck for that. It's that little bit wider, plenty more board feel, more comfortability, a bit more confidence for me personally. I've learned a few new things on it, which is nice. Though the trucks, because of the wider board, the trucks stick in a little bit, but that hasn't bothered me at all. I would definitely say this is like a good hybrid skateboard for between street and like transition, because I generally just skate street, like I mentioned, trying to move a bit more into transition to broaden my tricks and things I can have fun on really. And this has been a deck that's nice for that. The 14.25 wheelbase allows you to like enjoy both of them, I reckon. And overall the deck, it's like, yeah, you might struggle to flip it a bit more. Personally, it's all personal preference. Personally, 8.4, I feel more comfortable, but I struggle with my flip tricks. What are you guys writing down? What are you guys riding? What are you guys riding? Let me know down in the comments, because like I've always stuck to 8.25. It's just that happy medium. Anything smaller is too small for me. Going up bigger sizes is more comfortable, but I feel like, yeah, my flip tricks are flipping a little bit slower. I'm connecting too much on my kickflip. But that just could be like a me thing. It could be in my head. I just have to adjust my foot and flick. I also have to go back and relearn and reteach myself some kickflips. So probably make a little bit of a video on that, my process of that, because I've just lost them. Like my consistency on my kickflip is gone. I can get the flick, but I can't stay over it. I don't know. If you have any kickflip suggestions of why, I know probably why, but the board keeps going in front of me. Yeah, I don't know. Depending on what you're skating, I'll probably suggest getting an Antihero. It's been a really solid deck. Like this deck personally here, the 14.25 wheelbase is perfect for both. If you really like transition skating, look for like another Antihero that maybe has a 14.38 and 14.5 wheelbase up. Really solid deck. You'll get that nice strong durability of BBS wood. You'll get the extra stability. But if you want that like perfect hybrid, I reckon, of like transition and street skating, this Grimple Stix or any Antihero, mainly this Grimple Stix, because I found that this Grimple Stix had a bit more of a wider shape as well. Same with I think it was the Jeff Grosso 14.4 as well. That had the same, that had the 14.25 wheelbase, had the same shape. It's a really nice shape. It's a mellow deck, like a medium to mellow concave across it. Solid medium kicks. So keep that in mind, depends how you skate. Most skaters will get used to the kicks and stuff like that after a couple of sessions. And like I mentioned, as time went on, I did like find myself getting more and more used to it, getting a bit more consistency. So that is a good thing. It's just like, it takes time, I guess. But that time was probably 4 or 5 weeks into riding the board. I was getting more consistent and like really enjoying my time on this deck. So like talking about enjoying my time on its deck, like I did learn a lot of new tricks, ticked off a lot of good things, like personal things for me. But getting to the best point of this deck was like, I reckon it was 4 or 5 weeks into its life of like skating it. But for me now, I'm on to something a little bit more mellow. Probably ride in April or a weekend. Thinking about riding the weekend. I've had that sitting there in the pile for a little bit. Another Quasi is actually on the radar for me because they've just changed from PS Stix to BBS wood. Another one is Toy Machine. Another one is Toy Machine that I've put on my radar as well, but I want to find the BBS wood of that here in Australia. Could be a little bit harder. Love to get like a Tyshawn Jones like pro model, or the Sean Jordan pro model. He's been ripping it in Street League of late. But like, the only thing is like that, I really want to get that BBS wood for Toy Machine, because my other Toy Machine I skated like way back, I snapped that in 3 days, I think. It wasn't really good. It was not good quality, but they did actually send me a replacement, so that was props on them. And if you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you're not already, turn on the bell notifications, thingamajigs, all those good YouTube things. Helps me out a lot. I really appreciate you. I appreciate all the voting and stuff you do on my community posts as well. And until the next video, I'll catch you guys soon. Peace. Little man out.